We have much to discuss. Hi, I'm Jocelyn. Welcome to or back to my channel. Today's video is one that I am very excited to finally make. This is something that is very near and dear to my heart because I am a diehard book lover. I love reading. I have always loved reading from a very young age, and these three series that I'm going to talk about today are, in my opinion, the best of the best. All of these books are kind of similar, but they're also very different, and I like them for different reasons. Some of it is sentimental value, some of it is just the characters or the way that the story flows, the plot of the story. Everything about these books I love, and that is why I want to share them with you guys today so that hopefully you will read them and love them too. The first series, it is a duology actually, and it is The Six of Crows duology by Leigh Bardugo. This is actually the second series to take place in this universe. The first is the Grisha trilogy. The first book in that is Shadow and Bone, and I've read those as well. I talk about them in one of my book reviews. To read the Six of Crows duology, you do not have to have read the Grisha trilogy first. And I did not. I read this before I even knew Shadow and Bone existed. So this story, it follows a mixed match group, and this is one of my favorite tropes in stories, which is found family, and that is definitely what you find in this book. You have 6 different people from very different walks of life who come together for a heist. It's partially just for their own gain to make money, but along the way they discover so much more. I love every character. That's what you'll find with these 3 series that I talk about, and it's very rare for me. I want to read to you something off of the back of the book. A convict with a thirst for revenge. A sharpshooter who can't walk away from a wager. A runaway with a privileged past. A spy known as the Wrath. A heart trender using her magic to survive the slums. A thief with a gift for unlikely escapes. You can't read that and not be intrigued. There's a lot of deep conversation about morals and right versus wrong, good versus bad, what the qualifications are of a villain, what turns someone bad. The first book especially talks a lot about each character's backstory. There are lots of flashbacks and lots of references to what their lives were like before they got to this point. And in the second book, it is much more plot-based. Instead, you get to see a lot more of the relationships between the characters evolve. And the characters are all lovable and also unlovable, because what I love especially about this is that this book is that you see every single character's motive. You see all of their character flaws. None of them become this perfect person by the end of the story. And I think it's very realistic in that way. And that is part of the reason why I love this series so much. And that is why it is my number 3 favorite series of all time. My second favorite series of all time is The Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. I actually only have Cress, and it's kind of interesting because this is the 3rd book in the series. There are 4 books in the Consequential series, and then there are 2 other books. One of them is a compilation of short stories about the characters from the books, and another one is the perspective of another character from the story, but they're not one of the main characters. Something you should know about me going into why I love the Lunar Chronicles so much is because I am a huge fairy tale nerd. I absolutely adore fairy tales, and I have for a really long time. I know they all say this, but this is not your typical fairy tale retelling. It is set in the very far future. Everything is peaceful except for the fact that there is a plague that has taken over the entire world. No one is safe from it. When you get the plague, you will die. There is no chance for survival. There's no cure. And also, there are people from the moon. So basically, there was a moon colony made years prior. And over time, these people, they have evolved into their own country, and they're called Lunars, and they also have special powers. It's they have the ability to control bioelectricity. So pretty much mind control. They can make you see what they want you to see. They can control you, like make you do something, make you forget things. They can do all sorts of things. It is crazy. The queen is evil. She wants to control all of Earth, and so when we start, we meet Cinder. The first book is Cinder. Is Cinder, Scarlet, Cress, in winter. And Cinder is based off of Cinderella, Scarlet is based off of Red Riding Hood, Cress is based off of Tangled, and Winter is based off of Snow White. And so we start with Cinder, and Cinder, she's just this lowly cyborg. She's a mechanic. She's taken advantage of by her stepmother and her stepsisters who didn't want her. So when we meet her, she's just out at her station working, taking orders, and the Prince Kai, he shows up, and he's asking her to fix his android, and we meet them, and they're flirting. It's all cute, and then the story just evolves. It just goes completely crazy, and that is something that I truly love about this series, that every single page something is happening. There's never a dull point. You're always questioning what's gonna happen, what's the queen gonna do, what's Cinder gonna do, what's going on with Kai. I'll give you a warning, Winter is over 800 pages. In the first time I read it in one day. I also just reread this series, and I read all 4 books in 2 days. So that should tell you how much I absolutely adore it, how entertaining it is, that like I didn't even want to put it down. It is definitely an attention grabber. The plot, man, let me tell you, the plot is crazy. It's crazy. So many things are happening at all times. It's almost overwhelming, because each book you get every single character's perspective. It could be a lot, but when I tell you it is worth the read, it is worth the read. What I love so much is the references. Each book is separated into different sections, but they're also called books, and the beginning of them each have like a part from the original tellings. Like, for example, the first one from Cress, and remember this one is about Rapunzel. It says, when she was just a child, the witch locked her away in a tower that had neither doors nor stairs. So you get things like that, and you have just constantly references in each character. They go through their entire fairy tale relation. They go through that entire story. The way that Marissa is able to twist all of that and fit it into the story that she wants to tell is honestly so inspiring and so incredible that she's able to capture her audience this way. And I have a lot of respect for her for being able to do that. The last series should come as no surprise to anyone who knows me, who's seen my channel before. That is none other than the Percy Jackson series. This series came into my life in 3rd grade. When I read it for the first time. I love it so much, and I will never hesitate to say that. I don't think anything will ever come up above this because of how near and dear to my heart it is. The story follows Percy Jackson as he finds out that he is a child of one of the Olympian gods. This series is special for a number of reasons. For one, all of the characters are amazing. In this series, the demigods, as they're called, they all have ADHD and dyslexia because one of his daughters is diagnosed with them, and he wanted her to feel represented in a book. And I think that's so special that while he didn't have a platform, he was able to reach so many kids in this way. And also someone like me, who I don't have those things, but I was still able to relate to so many of the characters in the story. I mean, you have Percy, and his primary struggle throughout this whole series is, am I a hero? Am I making the right decisions that would qualify me to be a hero? What makes a hero? But there's so many great characters that represent so many different things. It really is the series that got me into wanting to dive into so many more series, because after reading the Percy Jackson series and the Heroes of Olympus series, I read Harry Potter and The Hunger Games and Divergent. I would not have read those if I had not read this book first. Also, the Percy Jackson fandom is so amazing. It's huge. It is huge. People don't realize how big of an influence these books have had on so many people. Fiction has evolved, especially kids' books and YA books. I mean, if you think about how many books have come out back to back and how they have evolved and reached so many people and touched so many people's hearts, they're able to reach a wider audience and have an even bigger impact on people because of the morals that they're learning from these stories. And that is something that I definitely think it holds true with the Percy Jackson series, the Lunar Chronicles series, and the Six of Crows duology. If you enjoyed hearing me rant about my favorite book series, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to get more content from me. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!